Hey guys, Monochrome here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Genuinely good to have you. K-bar knife, an absolute classic, well-respected, well-loved by the soldiers who were fortunate enough to be issued one of these, especially during World War II. The original stock leather sheath, not so much. Now, I do want to point out that the K-bar knife in this video is an actual modern-day K-bar knife made by K-bar, and so is the sheath. This is not a replacement leather sheath. It's not a copy. This is the sheath that came with my K-bar knife from K-bar. Not all of the leather sheaths had the USMC logo. Quite a few do come plain, and you can get the plain leather sheaths from K-bar with the purchase of your knife. And the biggest issue is that these sheaths are very thin. Quality leather, but very thin. And especially during World War II, when these sheaths were issued with the knives, what would oftentimes happen is that soldiers would have to dive for cover in order to avoid gunfire from enemy soldiers. And after a while, this soft leather sheath would get a little bit softer, a bit tattered, and eventually, oftentimes, you'd have a soldier diving for cover, and the front portion of his K-bar knife would punch through the soft leather into his thigh. Not good. So a lot of soldiers, they did not think very highly of this thin leather sheath, and for good reason. However, there is an ingenious aspect to this sheath, and it's over here on this end. I'm talking about the snap itself. Now, this snap was intentionally made not to be too strong. That was done on purpose. And the reason why, very ingenious. Imagine this knife and sheath strapped to a soldier's web belt. All of a sudden, he's facing enemy fire. He uses his rifle, he runs out of ammunition. Maybe he's going up against Japanese troops, and now he has to deal with a banzai charge. He's got enemy soldiers charging at him. He's out of ammo. He's got one option: his K-bar knife. So naturally, he's just going to very casually reach down, unsnap it, and then reach in, making sure that this snap is out of the way of the cutting edge, and he's just going to pull out his knife and use it. Right? Wrong, obviously. Here's what's really going to happen in a situation like that. He's going to reach down, grab this handle, and he's going to rip the knife out of the sheath. Now that's going to be a lot easier to do if this particular snap is not very strong at all. And the positioning was also done intentionally, because if this retaining strap and snap were down here by the guards, you'd have a soldier reaching for his knife. It would get stuck because he's experiencing an adrenaline dump, and it doesn't occur to him, oh, I have to stop and unsnap. No. Last thing you want as a soldier, last thing you want as a commanding officer is seeing one of your soldiers get killed because he wasn't able to pull his knife out of the sheath in order to defend himself. So this retaining strap was intentionally placed further up, and the snap itself was intentionally made not to be too strong, just strong enough that it would retain the knife within the sheath, but weak enough that in the heat of battle, ammunition used up, soldiers experiencing an adrenaline dump, here comes an enemy soldier charging at him because that soldier used up all his ammunition too. An American soldier's last line of defense, his K-bar knife in World War II. Yeah. When you have an adrenaline dump, your fine motor skills vanish. So this was designed so that a soldier could just reach down, grab it, pull, yank it out of the sheath, and use it. Very ingenious. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate that because I really don't want to damage the retaining strap or the snap on my particular K-bar knife. Honestly, these things are pricey nowadays. Right around 75, 80 bucks. So yeah, I don't want to damage this, so I'm not going to rip it out of the sheath. But yeah, that is the reason why this was intentionally made not to be very strong, and why the retaining strap is up here instead of down here. Just strong enough to help retain the knife in the sheath when a soldier is running, but definitely weak enough that he can get to his knife when he needs it. And even though a lot of soldiers back in the good old days, for lack of a better term, didn't have a lot of respect for this thin leather sheath that would sometimes cause their K-bar knife to embed itself into their thigh. Yep. It was designed with at least one truly ingenious feature that took the reality of war into account. Yeah. Reality taken into account. That doesn't seem to happen too often nowadays, does it? All right, guys, that's it for today. I just wanted to share that particular aspect of this classic knife and sheath with you all today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon. Guys, please continue to stay safe out there. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. Please take care.